They told you marriage is sacred. They told you it's love, stability, and purpose. But what if it's something else? What if marriage isn't just a personal choice, but a social mechanism designed to tame the masculine spirit? Herbert Marcuse once warned that modern systems don't control through force, they control through comfort. And comfort, he said, is the most seductive form of slavery. Tonight we'll uncover the hidden design, the way marriage quietly exploits men under the illusion of love, duty, and happiness. 1. The sweet lie of fulfillment. From childhood, you're taught that marriage completes you, that without a wife, a home, and children, you're somehow unfinished. But Marcuse would call this the programmed dream. Society manufactures desires that make you serve its order while believing you're free. You don't marry out of inner truth. You marry to fit a mold. The system whispers that settling down is the path to peace, but what it really means is settling into obedience. And the tragedy? You believed it was your choice. This illusion of fulfillment blinds men to the deeper reality that true completeness was never something external. It was the inner harmony you lost while chasing society's checklist. 2. The economic web. Once the illusion is accepted, the next trap unfolds, the economic chain. Marcuse believed modern society ties the human being to endless production and consumption, disguising control as responsibility. A man marries, and instantly he's bound to mortgages, loans, insurances, bills. He works not for freedom, but for survival within a structure designed to drain him slowly. Marriage, in this form, becomes an invisible contract with the economic system itself. You think you're building a family, but often you're just fueling an economy that feeds on your constant need to provide. And when a man's worth is reduced to his ability to pay, his soul begins to starve. 3. The psychological conditioning. But the trap is not only material, it's psychological. Marcuse wrote that advanced societies create one-dimensional men, people who stop thinking beyond what they're told to want. Marriage turns men into predictable archetypes, the provider, the fixer, the emotional pillar. And in performing these roles, the man slowly loses the freedom to explore who he really is. He learns to suppress emotions, to silence his doubts, to live according to expectation, not authenticity. This is not partnership, it's programming, a quiet obedience disguised as love. And as he conforms to this image, his deeper essence, his wild, creative, untamed energy, fades into silence. 4. The domesticating of desire. Marcuse saw desire as one of the purest forms of human freedom, a creative life force that connects us to truth. But modern systems learn to domesticate it. Marriage, when built on routine, transforms desire into duty. What was once fire becomes a schedule. What was once mystery becomes maintenance. The erotic spirit, the one that fuels art, growth, and discovery, gets locked behind repetition. A man's natural drive to seek the unknown is redirected toward keeping things the same. Stability replaces adventure, and the fire of life dims quietly under the name of responsibility. This isn't love's death, it's its sterilization. 5. The subtle loss of power. As this pattern deepens, a man begins to give and give and give, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually. He provides peace at the cost of his fire. He offers stability while losing his edge. And slowly, without even realizing it, he becomes secondary in his own life. Marcuse would call this the tranquilization of rebellion. The system doesn't need to fight men anymore. It simply neutralizes them with comfort and guilt. And marriage, for many, becomes that comfortable anesthetic. He's not chained, he's applauded for being responsible. But what the world calls maturity might just be the quiet surrender of his freedom. 6. The disguised inequality. Society romanticizes equality in marriage, but the expectations placed upon men are rarely equal. Men are told they must protect, provide, and persevere no matter what. And in return, they receive validation only when they fulfill the script. The moment they deviate, they're shamed, labeled, or abandoned. This is not partnership. It's conditional affection disguised as virtue. Marcuse would argue this is the very essence of alienation, when love becomes an exchange, not a revelation. True equality is not about shared tasks, it's about shared truth. And most modern marriages operate not on truth, but on silent transactions. And at this stage, the man no longer remembers who he was before the mask. His life becomes a performance, a repetition of words that aren't his, dreams that aren't his, and duties that no longer inspire him. Marcuse believed this was the greatest form of slavery, when man becomes happy in his unfreedom. He doesn't question anymore. He confuses comfort with peace, obedience with love, and exhaustion with purpose. The system doesn't destroy him. It makes him forget he ever existed. But somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice still calls, reminding him of the freedom he once knew before the illusion consumed him. And this is where awakening begins. Marcuse didn't tell men to reject love. He urged them to see through illusion, to build relationships not from societal programming, but from inner awareness. A true partnership, he believed, begins when both souls are free, when love is not control, but choice, not expectation, but truth. To see through the illusion of marriage is not to hate it. It's to understand it, to purify it, to rebuild it on consciousness, not conditioning. When a man reclaims his awareness, he reclaims his power. He stops being a servant of duty and becomes a guardian of truth. Marcuse's warning wasn't against women or love. It was against the systems that exploit the sacred through illusion. Maybe marriage doesn't imprison men with walls. Maybe it imprisons them with dreams that were never truly theirs. And the greatest rebellion is not to destroy the illusion, but to awaken within it. This is MindVelli, where we don't follow, we question. Where we don't obey, we awaken. Because truth was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to set you free.